What you're about to hear is disturbing, but it's important. In 2022, Daniela Gallegos, she fell into a coma at a New Mexico hospital and was allegedly going to have her organs harvested. On the day of the surgery, Daniela's family reported seeing her move. According to the New York Times, donor officials allegedly still pushed for the operation despite signs of life. The hospital refused. Daniela reportedly went on to make a full recovery. Now, this case is not the only one. In 2021, a Kentucky man named TJ Hoover was rushed to the hospital after a suspected overdose. Doctors believed he wouldn't survive and flagged that he was an organ donor. TJ was moments away from the organ harvesting procedure. Suddenly, he woke up. Fortunately, TJ survived, but he lives with PTSD since that day. Meanwhile, a federal investigation into nonprofit group Kentucky Organ Donor Affiliates, also known as CODA, may have pushed hospital workers towards surgery despite a patient's signs of life. HHS Secretary RFK Jr. calling it horrifying. We reached out to CODA for a statement, and Network for Hope, which CODA merged into last year, but we have not heard back. It's important to remember organ donations do play a vital role in our society when done appropriately. There were over 48,000 life-saving transplants in 2024. But I had a chance to speak with advocates for organ donation reform and TJ Hoover's sister, Donna Rohrer, and Federation of American Scientists Senior Fellow Jennifer Erickson. And here's our conversation. Donna, thank you for being with us here today. Jennifer, you as well. I'd love to start with you, Donna. This is an absolutely terrifying story, almost unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Tell us.
More like a horror movie.
It is almost like a horror movie. How did this happen?
We're still working on learning how that happened.
From what I understand and from what I've read, at some point in the process, as TJ is being wheeled into the organ harvesting process, his eyes open. He starts tracking people in the hallway. And according to the doctors, correct me if I'm wrong, tell me more, please. He then starts moving on the operating table, at which point they called it?
Yes, almost immediately his eyes started to open. And they wasn't just opening, they were tracking. And, they stopped him in the honor walk so the family could say their goodbyes, because we could only have 10 people because of, COVID restrictions. So they stopped him so we could say, our goodbyes, the rest of the family could. And the ICU supervisor said sometimes they do respond with reflexes, and made us stop recording his honor walk. And
so they explained it away.
They explained it away, correct.
Okay. But then what happened in the operating room? How did it stop?
A doctor finally stopped it. They had him shaved and prepped and draped and was, going to stop it, going to start it harvesting. And about 45 minutes in, a physician finally stopped it and had 3 chairs pulled up for us. And she said, I stopped it. She said, he woke up. He's not ready. That was the response, that we got from it.
Wow. So, Jennifer, again, as described by Donna, that is horrifying. What might be even more horrifying is apparently it's not an isolated incident. This has happened on more than one occasion.
Oh, it's horrifying, and it is happening every day. I mean, there are 4 congressional investigations into this, and there was an explosive hearing in Congress a couple of weeks ago from the Powerful Energy and Commerce Committee, and they reviewed a federal report that just looked at one state, Kentucky, and in 3 months, in 90 days, they found more than 100 cases with what were called concerning features, including patients who were not neurologically fit for organ donation. In other words, they never should have been wheeled in the first place. So let's be really clear. What's happening is dangerous, it's corrupt, and I so appreciate the leadership of Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who said this is horrifying and he's going to end it.
Let me get this straight. In one state, Kentucky, in 90 days, perhaps as many of 100 of these stories like TJ's? Maybe not the exact same details and maybe not the exact same circumstances, but potentially 100 people who are alive or not officially or pronounced dead, having their organs harvested. Why? What is pushing the incentive, or why is this being pushed beyond certainty?
Well, and I'll be clear that this process in these more than 100 cases were stopped. It was cases like TJ's where they shouldn't have even been started. What we don't know, what we can't know, and is terrifying, is how many families never found out. How many times could someone have survived and they actually had their organs harvested when they could have walked out of the hospital? I mean, that's even scarier, right? So to your good question, how has this happened? Well, right now, there is a network of taxpayer-funded monopoly organ contractors across the United States. They all got put there in the 1980s, and never, not once in 40 years, have any of them been replaced. Not when they've done dangerous things like in TJ's case, lying to families and harming patients, not in cases that have resulted in patient deaths, not in cases of Medicare fraud where they've stolen taxpayer dollars. They've never been replaced. And Secretary Kennedy just said in the wake of this hearing, this is horrifying. It has to end.
Donna, how is TJ doing today? We said in our introduction that he's suffering from PTSD from this situation. How's he doing?
He's doing very well now. He's more stable than he has been in almost 4 years now. He's in speech therapy. He's in occupational therapy. He's getting ready to start physical therapy again. I try to keep him as active as possible. They say, he may be in the early stages of Parkinson's. So his short-term memory, he doesn't really have a short-term memory at all. I try to keep him as active, as I can, and I try to shield him as much as I possibly can, from all the media attention and things like that, because he, some days just, he remembers things, and his response is, why did they try to kill me? Why did they want to kill me?
Okay, I think that's awful. I'm sorry, Donna. Thank you for sharing that with us. And that will lead me to my last question here to Jennifer. What is the answer to TJ's question to Donna? Why did they try to kill him? What is the incentive here? Why is this entire process of harvesting organs being rushed?
Well, sadly, it's money. I mean, we are talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry that your viewers, the taxpayers, have funded, and there's never been any consequence for whether these organ contractors do it safely, for whether they lie to families like Donna, to whatever they do. And so there is a rush to keep their lucrative contracts, to keep their really high executive compensation. And the problem is this is a life and death business. And Americans support organ donation. 95% of us support it. But you know what? Right now, in too many parts of the United States, it is not safe. And so that is why, it'll take this leadership of Secretary Kennedy to make sure it's safe, and that only organ contractors that are doing the job safely for families like Donna and TJ and aren't just looking at keeping their jobs and rushing to keep their own lucrative salaries, that's what we have to do now.
Just absolutely horrifying. Donna, thank you so much. Jennifer, you as well, for educating us on this going on across our country. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing our story.
Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.